John Wick is excommunicado.
What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com, and tonight I'm going to talk about John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, the third film in the franchise, and I just got around to watching the first two right before I went and saw this movie. I don't know why I never got around to seeing John Wick, but my God, these movies are fucking awesome. When it comes to like straight 80s action, revenge, this is a movie for you, and I really fell in love with this story, and I fell in love with Keanu Reeves again. I haven't really been that invested in a lot of his movies as of late. I know he's a great actor, just nothing that really interests me, and finally getting around to John Wick and his story about his wife dying, these guys killing his fucking dog, and him just snapping out and going on this revenge tale and just killing anybody that gets in his path. And I thought it was just an excellent story and setup for a film and trilogy. We have Chad Stahelski directing this film yet again. He's no stranger to actions. There's a lot of action sequences, obviously, throughout the entire film. He's a really great director, and I'm interested to see more of his types of films outside of John Wick. So the setup of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, he's excommunicado. Basically, it means he's kicked out of this society of assassins, and everybody in New York, all these assassins and killers are after him. There's a bounty put on John Wick's head. I think it's like $7 million in the beginning, and then I think it turns up to like $14 million to kill John Wick. There's all these different characters and assassins coming out of the woodwork throughout New York City. You have like homeless people, you think they are, but it turns out they're assassins, so they like come out of the bags and then they start fighting them. And from the get-go of the movie, like the first 10 minutes is like straight fucking action all the way till the end. When I came out of the movie theater, I was like so anxious, and I was like so full of adrenaline, and I was ready to fight somebody like coming out of the movie theater. That's how much it impacted me, how much I was invested in this story. But this movie's no different than the other two films. I mean, there's not a huge story behind this, but just more or less people after John Wick after being excommunicado, and they want this money, so they'll do whatever it takes to kill John Wick. And of course, they can't kill the boogeyman himself, as they call him, John Wick. John Wick. John Wick. Throughout all three movies, I love how they overemphasize his name. He's like, "Ooh, the boogeyman. You don't want him coming after you. You're dead. John Wick. John Wick." Over and over. I thought it was kind of funny how they do that. It really builds this like urban legend kind of story behind him, because in the first film they talk about like what he did. He killed 3 men at a bar with a pencil and what he's capable of, but he's been out of the game. He fell in love with a woman. He got out of the business. And, after her dying and his dog dying, he got brought back in, and he's like, "I'm back in now, back in the business." So anybody that gets in his way, they're obviously not going to last too long. And Keanu Reeves is so fucking badass in this movie. He's kind of quiet, but he just snaps out, and he can take out like 15 different guys. He's like guns, and like shooting them in the head, and like getting stabbed and punched, and he's still like shooting guns. And it's unbelievable. A guy at his age, he's been acting in Hollywood for over 30 years. He's getting older, but he still looks great. He's still in shape, and he can still fucking kick some ass. Any role he takes on, he can really conquer it. And John Wick is definitely probably his magnum opus. I love this character, and I love the way he works with it and the places he goes, the dark places he goes with this character. And he's pretty much unstoppable. So many great shots in this movie. The camera work, the cinematography, the color schemes, like the vibrant neon colors of New York City that really sets up, the background of this movie. It kind of sets the tone. They introduce Halle Berry's character as Sophia. She has these 2 badass, like German Shepherd type of dogs that are vicious. They only listen to her. And they got into the brawl in one of the scenes in the movie, probably one of the better scenes, the action scenes of the flick. The 2 dogs are actually fighting and killing people, and next to Halle Berry and John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves, and they were just such an integral part to that scene that really elevated this movie, made it better than the second one. I really appreciated a lot more stuff they put into this film, with being dogs, with a great scene of like John Wick on the horse or on the motorcycles, and he's like fighting these guys that are riding crotch rockets next to him. It looks so realistic and believable, and I couldn't believe they pulled it off to make it look so real. We have Laurence Fishburne returning from the last flick. He's in the third film, Parabellum, and he's fantastic. It's awesome seeing Neo and Morpheus on screen together again. They have a really great chemistry, even though they're older now. And then we have Ian McShane returning as Winston. And that guy's been in so much shit lately. I love seeing this guy. He's a great actor. I loved him in Deadwood. I was talking to John Wick and trying to walk him through things, but something happens to Winston's character that I really didn't see coming at the end of Parabellum, so that was really interesting how his character kind of changes and how it possibly sets up for more films. But overall, I had a great time with John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. This is my second favorite entry in the John Wick trilogy. Like I said, the first one is my favorite. I love this one, and then the second part is probably my least favorite. But they did an excellent job, the directing, the cinematography, the action. It's really crazy seeing how the first film started out with him straight up revenge, not being in the business anymore, going after the killers of his dog, to him going back into the business and coming across a lot of bad guys, a lot of assassins. And this is a movie you have to experience in the movie theater just for the action alone. I'm going to give John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum a 4.5 out of 5 Keanu Reeves hair pieces. Did you guys check out John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite movie in the franchise? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out with my mate here, John Wick in the mean streets of New York City. Until the next movie review. Cheers!